What's up, folks? This is Frank, your favorite sorcerer, and in this video, I want to give you a very short, sweet, but extremely powerful tip. Okay, well, when you talk to as many people as I do, you begin to notice patterns in people's thought process, and based on my experience, here's where people often feel stuck. Okay, let's say you have a person that has a certain occupation, a certain whatever, a certain identity in the society. And naturally, they're going to interpret everything from that level, right? They look at the world through this lens, okay? And based on that, everything is interpreted. And in that world, or through that frame, very few things in this world make sense, okay? Why? Because it is one frame, one level, and not everybody thinks in that way. And you could say that the events in the world are always caused by some sort of law or effect. Okay, there's a universal and hermetic principle at play in the universe, which is cause and effect. So even though the world doesn't make sense to that person, there is actually cause and effect at play, but they don't understand that cause and effect. Okay, so people look through their specific lens and look at the world, and it doesn't make sense to them. Okay, and they're like, why is the world like this? Okay, from my perspective, a very simple change in this or that could make the world better, and it would work. And I don't understand why that's not happening. And everybody, and subconsciously they assume that everybody sees the world as they do. It's not the case, though. Okay, then you got the next person with another frame, okay? And they think the same thing. Okay, now what you want to do is always seek out the highest frame, perspective, worldview, and from that level, it's not just that more and more things will make sense. You will actually be able to affect them. Okay, this is a thought. This is a change in thought frequency, you could say. Okay, and the higher the frequency, meaning the broader the worldview, the more fundamental the laws that you live your life by, and the more fundamental and basic the laws that you use to process your world, the more power to influence that you will have, you see? Let's say you have a person that works in the financial industry, a person that is a fucking yoga teacher, and a person that is a school teacher or something like that, okay? Now, superficially, these people have very little in common, okay? Let's say from a sociological perspective, they don't have that much in common. Okay, they're probably not going to be in the same social circle. They're probably not going to have the same activities when they have in their free time, and won't read the same books and all of that shit. Won't have the same political affiliation. So they're very, very different and diverse in that respect, right? Now, sociology is one level of thinking. Now you could go a level deeper or higher. That's your choice. Let's call it more fundamental or more broad. Okay, at that point you find out that they're all Homo sapiens. Okay, and all Homo sapiens react to certain stimuli and can be affected through them. Okay, so this is a very, very simple example of the thought process and the way to use your thought process that I mean here. Okay, this is what I'm trying to think you trying to make you think about. Okay, the next time you're faced with a problem or some sort of hard to overcome circumstance, and then you feel as if your life is not under your control, and whatever outside forces make you feel like you're like a out of control, use that. Try to find the highest frame possible. Okay, and from that level, everything will become affectable. Is that even a fucking word? But you will be able to affect it at that point, somewhere or another. Okay. This is crucial and this is actually extremely powerful. Okay. So understand that your identity is a tool that you should be able to adjust and use. Okay, it's not, and okay, I'm 100% sure that some fucking numbskull out there is gonna interpret it in a way where it's like, what, my identity? Like, what does that mean? Can I be fake and all that? No, that's not what I'm fucking saying. All I'm saying is understand that your identity is an ever-changing thing. Okay. Now, of course, you have a certain name, a certain genetic makeup, a certain all this and that, and blah blah blah. Okay. I'm not saying that you will change that every single fucking day. Okay. And I'm not telling you to become fake. Okay. All I'm telling you is that the way you see the world has to be flexible. Okay. All right. Look at evolution. And our evolution as humans happens actually more in the mind and consciousness and you know in spirit than biologically. It is still going on biologically, but more so mentally, you know. And evolution, one of the laws is that it's not the strongest, it's not the whatever. It's the most adaptable that wins. Okay, so you got to be able to adapt mentally and adapt your consciousness to the situation that you're in. What does that mean? What does that translate into? Whenever you're faced with an outside problem, okay, once again, it is as within, so without. I'd say the problem from the outside world seems a little bit too big to handle right now. All you have to do is adjust the inner world to be even bigger. Okay, so change the frame, change the dynamic. As within, so without. Now, as you begin to perceive it differently, the problem will become manageable. Okay, this is important. This is important. Okay, now, when it comes to that, we can say, as a general rule, the more fundamental the frame, or the deeper and the more profound the frame and the view on things, the more power to influence. Okay. And what you will also find is, coming back to witchcraft, which is my profession, of course, right? So I see everything through the flame, through the frame of the sorcerer. Eventually, my mind works like that, and it has to, obviously. Eventually, everything will be brought back to witchcraft and spiritual power. Now, I'm telling you, there's hardly, if there is one, if there is one, I'm not aware of it. But I'm telling you that spirituality, witchcraft, and magic specifically, call it black magic. I don't give a fuck what you call it. It is a spiritual influence. It is using the power of condensed, focused, and coherent thought in combination with your life force, chi, emotional energy, to affect things, people, and events. Okay, this is the most powerful and most profound frame that you can have. Okay, because it's not just that let's say you have to talk to a person. You don't have to convince them through fucking words. It's actually quite lame at that point. You see, you don't have to convince them with words. Like, hey, fuck, no. When you can actually do this, you skip all of that bullshit, okay? You skip all of that. Talking to that person, negotiation and all of this shit. Fuck that. I'm going to sit down in my temple. I'm going to go into an altered state of consciousness where I can access their thoughts, emotions, their deepest fucking dreams and desires like this, okay? And this is where I'm going to adjust the little fucking wheels in their little fucking tiny minds and souls to match the outcome that I want, you see? People always complain about society this, society that, society is preventing me from doing this and that, and blah, 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 blah. You're preventing yourself, man. You have blocks in your own fucking mind, you see? And as you embrace spirituality, really go deep, okay, and use it in the way that I teach it, you will say fuck society. You will say fuck anyone that stands against me. They don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance. Superficially they might try to, but the powers and the forces of witchcraft cannot be stopped by these people, you see. And I have allied myself with the powers beyond this world. And therefore, I am backed by forces that can stand, and that can overcome any obstacle that any human being could ever throw at me, you see. Okay, let that sink in. You're probably going to have to watch this more than once because this was fucking profound, okay? Did I blow your mind? I swear to God, I fucking know that I did. Okay, I know. And if you really understand what I was saying here, you will agree. Okay, you might have to watch it once or twice, maybe 3 times, but eventually it will sink in. And you're very welcome because I've just injected some fucking power into you. Okay? It's just how I am, you know? It's just the kind of guy I am. Okay. Okay. All right. I don't hope this was helpful. I know it was helpful. And if not, you're a fucking numbskull and you're just too stupid to get this. Seriously, you know, I usually don't say this, but if you don't understand how fucking profound this was, I can fucking help you. You're just fucking like a fucking, I don't know. You're just stupid. Okay. Okay. With that being said, see you in the next video. Rebellion, liberation, and mastery. Peace out.